Hey, everybody. This is Scott. Welcome back to the LABiz podcast, episode 17 of our Owners and Operator series, where we tell the real stories of Louisiana small business, the wins, the losses, the lessons, and the legacy. You're on my quest to acquire local Louisiana companies. We'll have an update date on that in just a few minutes. Today, we're talking about something that quietly destroys Louisiana businesses more than hurricanes, recessions, big box competitors ever could. It's the silent killer, and that's doing nothing, not deciding, not planning, not preparing, not taking action. And if you're a Louisiana business owner listening right now, this episode might sting a little bit, but it also might save your business, your retirement, your family's future, and prepare you for transition or acquisition succession. But first, we have a special guest tonight for a few minutes at least, young new entrepreneur who has recently started his own business. Aiden Reynolds. Welcome, Aiden. Thank you for joining us. Um, as with every guest on the podcast, I don't know if you've seen some of the previous episodes, but I want to show my appreciation for you giving us some time tonight and telling us about your business and your journey. So here's an SOS Louisiana gift box. Contains a few things, branded items that you can use during every day, use for your business.
Yes,
and again, we appreciate you spending some time with us. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Aiden. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Aiden Reynolds. I am 17, about to be a senior in high school, and I'm just trying to start my own business, pressure washing houses, driveways, just about anything.
Okay. And what's the name of your business?
It's Royal Rents Pressure Washing Services.
Okay, Royal Rinse Pressure Washing Services. And we'll go ahead and put the number up here. I'll also put it into the description of the video later so that our watchers and subscribers have access to your information. But why don't you tell us your contact information? I have the phone number up on the screen, but go ahead and give it to us anyway.
Yeah, the phone number is 318-676-9608.
And you have email?
Yeah, you can get to me at Gmail at ReynoldsAiden2@gmail.com.
ReynoldsAiden2@gmail.com. And what about any socials? How do you promote yourself?
Facebook, and that's about it at the moment.
Okay. So you have a Facebook page, and that's Royal Rinse Pressure Washing in Shreveport, Bossier. What made you decide to get into pressure washing?
There's not as many competitors as like lawn care and stuff, and it's a job that needs to be done that not as many people do, and it makes houses and driveways and everything look a lot nicer.
Yeah, but it certainly can do that. I know I like to get my driveway done every once in a while. And what kind of equipment do you have? Like, what did you need to get started in the business?
Just you need a pressure washer. Mine's like a 4,200 psi, 4 gallons a minute, and you can get a surface cleaner. Walk behind her to the wand. You need a wand and a gun, and probably about 100 foot of hose from the water hose to the pressure washing hose. That's
Okay.
about it.
And then what type of jobs can you do with that equipment?
So with that equipment, you can do driveways. You can do like brick, and then for stuff like siding and paint and all that, you kind of want to like soft wash it. So you spray it with chemical, and then you go over it at the same pressure with water, so you don't chip paint, do anything like that.
Okay, very good. And what kind of jobs are you looking for, or what other services do you offer? Any other services you want to tell the viewers about?
I mean, driveways, any houses, sheds, anything, roofs. If it's steep enough, I can get to it off a ladder. I can do that. And I mean, really anything that needs to be cleaned that's outside.
All right, awesome. So you guys heard it. Support our young entrepreneurs here in the Shreveport, Bossier area. Aiden Reynolds, Royal Rinse Pressure Washing, 318-676-9608. If you think you need some work done for residential work currently, right? Then make sure to give him a call and support local entrepreneurs like Aiden. Thank you so much for joining us, Aiden. And anything else you'd like to say?
No, that should be it.
All right, very good. Thanks for joining us. You can leave those headsets right there. All right. So again, thanks to our special guest for joining us, and I hope anybody out there who has needs for those services takes Aiden up on the offer. So now let's get into the podcast. Tonight's episode again: the hidden cost of doing nothing. So first, there is a cost to the first part of doing nothing, and that is the hidden cost of waiting. Most owners think that the danger is making the wrong decision, but the real danger is waiting and never making one at all. And here's what doing nothing looks like in the real world. You know, your equipment is aging. So we were just talking about equipment, and Aiden has all new equipment. Um, but you start thinking, hey, there's a cost there. You know what? I'll replace it next year. You know that your top employee is burning out, but I'll deal with him after the summertime, after he gets back from vacation. You know, you need an exit plan, but you figure, hey, I'll take care of it when the time comes. You know, your books are messy, but hey, I'll clean it up before tax season gets started. Every single one of those delays has a cost, and the cost compounds because while you're waiting, the market isn't. Your competitors aren't. Your customers aren't. Your employees aren't. And time is the one thing that we cannot get back. I know you all have heard that before, and it's true. If you if you want to deeper dive into this idea, uh, the real cost of doing nothing. There's a lot of materials out there, um, books, articles that you can find online. I just wanted to touch on that because I think it's critical to um, uh, our my progress in acquiring a local business. And while I'm on that subject, a quick update. So I ran into some challenges last week. I got some feedback from the bank. They wanted me to adjust some things on my deal, including putting in more money in order to make this deal happen. So I went back, took a look, and one of the reasons why they wanted me to put in more money was because I had made a mistake on my personal financial statement. And so uh, I think that we're going to be able to correct that and get this deal done and move the things forward. But one of the things that it also taught me is like I had on the episode last week, double check those numbers, right? Uh, Banks do not lend because they like someone or they like a business. They lend on numbers, right? They underwrite numbers. So we got to double check everything, make sure it goes through. I also learned that to have a second bank uh, in the ready, right? So I started out working with two banks, and then I fell back to one because I thought that we were going to be able to make it happen and make a deal. Um, but I want to go back and make sure I get the second bank involved again, just in case we have some other problems as we go forward. One may take something. One may take one offer, and the other may not. So we want to make sure that we have those ready. All right. So back to the episode. Uh, when we talk about doing nothing and the cost, I wanted to share some stories with you. These are real patterns that I see from owners that I talk to or have worked with. The first one is waiting too long to sell a business worth 1.2 million 5 years ago. The owner got tired, slowed down. He stopped reinvesting in the business. He stopped he didn't have as much drive and much initiative. He was comfortable. It was a lifestyle business. It was paying the bills, but the revenue dipped, margin shrank, key employee left, and that really hurt him. And that's when he decided, hey, I gotta get ready to sell, because then he was going to have to do a lot more work in order to keep things going. But by the time he was ready to sell, the business was worth 350K. So he didn't lose 850K. or not just 850K. He lost 5 years of decisions that he did not make during that time. So that we have to keep going. We have to make those decisions. And if you're getting into your business into that age where it's a lifestyle business, you need to come to the realization that that is a lifestyle business, and I need to prepare for succession. The second example is the shop that never raised prices. We actually talked about this on a different episode with Brian Orea. Shout out, Brian. Appreciate your support. And the shop that, raising prices is not the end of a business. It's not necessarily a customer something that drives customer away, but a service business right here in North Louisiana. The owner hadn't raised prices in 11 years. Inflation was eating him alive. Payroll had increased. He was giving his employees increases, but he wasn't increasing his prices. Materials went up. Inflation has been rough these last several years, and materials went through the roof. Insurance went up, various expenses like that. And he didn't lose customers because his price remained the same, but doing nothing was more expensive than raising prices ever would have been. You can raise prices. Most customers, if you do a good job and do what you say you're going to do, will not leave because of a minimal price increase. And when I'm talking minimal, over the last 3 years, if you haven't raised your prices 15 to 20%, you are not keeping up with the cost. Okay. So really take that into consideration. When I say 15 to 20% over the last 3 years, that's only 5% per year compounded, right? 15 to 20. The first year was 5%. Well, then you're increasing 5% on top of that 5% each year, right? So it's compounded. It ends up somewhere maybe 17 and a quarter, 17.5%, something like that. Uh, and most businesses have to be in that area in order to keep up with the rate of inflation, the challenges in supply and demand. Uh, so think about doing a price increase if you have not done so in the last few years. Your customers will understand that the costs have increased because costs have increased for them everywhere. They understand that costs have increased for you too. If you lose one or two customers, then find a replacement, right? A new customer, that's just the rate, right? They didn't know that you were cheaper before. Right? So, and losing a customer who refuses to pay a few dollars more for your product or service may not be the customer that you wanted to keep anyway. So think about that. All right, number three, um, the family business with no successor, and this is, of course, the key to my podcast, the mission to save our shops, Louisiana. Um, but the family business with no successor. The dad assumed his kids would want the business, and the kids assumed the dad would sell it. There was no real talking about it. There was not just assumptions and not a real understanding. Well, before the dad was ready to retire, he got sick, real sick, and the business shut down. The employees scattered. The community lost a 40-year institution because no one made a decision. No one called a lawyer. No one talked about what would happen in the event that the dad was no longer available to run that business. All right. So, and why do people do these things? Why do people not make a decision? Well, the psychology behind uh, not making a decision is fear is the biggest driver. Fear of being wrong, fear of losing control, fear of change, fear of looking foolish, fear of letting go. But the truth is, we don't avoid risk by doing nothing. We're just choosing a different kind of risk. Excuse me. We're choosing a different kind of risk, and that risk goes quietly, or grows quietly until it explodes. So doing nothing is a lot more painful than making a wrong decision and maybe even looking foolish. If you want to explore that mindset again, what buyers wish sellers knew, or why your business isn't worth what you think. We have several blog posts on the website, soslouisiana.com, about this topic. Again, readily available on the internet. Do a quick search, and you'll find a lot more in depth about the cost of doing nothing. So, moving into the next section here, the turning point. Right, here's the good news: you can fix this. If you're a business owner and any of these things resonated with you, you can fix this. You can turn the ship. You can make decisions that protect your business, your employees, and your legacy. Start with three simple questions, right? What am I avoiding? That's number one. What is it costing me? That's number two. And what happens if I wait another year to do these things? Most owners know the answer instantly. They just haven't said it out loud. But if you need help, if you want to understand how do I measure cost in this type of situation, um, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to work with you and understand the position that you're in. Uh, so, what is the next things that need to happen? Here's a kind of a checklist, and I will post this as I edit this video, so you can go back and find it later. But get your books clean. Number one, messy books kill deals. When you're ready to sell, you want to make sure that your books are in order. Document your processes. Your business shouldn't live up here, right, in your head, and no one else really understand how it is that you make decisions, how it is that things need to get done. Number three, raise prices strategically. Inflation is real. It is costing you, it is costing your margin, it is costing you revenue, and you need to make sure that you are keeping up with the pace of inflation. Uh, Next would be invest in your people. Burnout is expensive, and that was one of the examples. An employee burns out. When that happens, most employees don't come to you and say, "Hey, I'm really tired. I need to take a break," or "I'm burnt out." What they do is start looking for another job, and that is when it really hurts, because when people look for another job, it's pretty much over in their mind, right? Even though you may be able to make a counter offer and you may be able to save that employee based on money, unless you change the experience that made them burn out or helped contribute to that burnout, you're not doing yourself a favor. So, by paying them more for doing the same work. And last, start your exit plan early, 3 to 5 years early if you're able to. If you're already at a point where you're thinking about exiting your business, selling your business, you know, talk to your family. Um, you know, assumptions destroy legacies. What's the expectation when you retire? What are you going to need, or what is it that your family is going to need and want to do? Get evaluation. So if you're not in the process of selling, even if you're not in the process of selling, you can talk with people. You can give me a call. I'll share my calculator with you, uh, or reach out to a broker. Brokers drive this small to low middle market business sales. They're kind of the keepers of the gate. And again, I did another episode on that. Go back and watch that. But get a valuation done. Fix the things that you've been avoiding. You already know what it is. I may have touched on it in this episode. I may not have, but you know what it is. You've been operating your business for X number of years successfully because you know what those things are. Let's get them fixed. All right. Um, Now, if uh, Louisiana small businesses are the backbone of our communities, as I have said many times. But too many of them die quietly, not from bad decisions, but from no decisions. Now, again, if you're a business owner, if this episode hit home, good. It was supposed to. Your business deserves action. Your employees deserve clarity. Your family deserves a plan, and your community deserves to keep the business that makes Louisiana, Louisiana. So that's it. Thanks for listening to episode 17 of the LA Biz SOS podcast. I'm Scott. We'll see you next episode. And hey, before you go, do me a favor. It really helps keep Louisiana businesses locally owned If today's episode gave you something to think about, hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds. You're already here, but it helps the mission reach more owners who need to hear the word. And if you know a business owner, a friend, a family member, somebody in your community, share this episode with them. You never know who might be one decision away from keeping their business going to the next generation of ownership. And for deeper stories, resources, and weekly insights, check out my blog at soslouisiana.com/news. So it's under the news column. That's where I post full write-ups, guides, and updates every week. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing to keep Louisiana businesses locally owned, or shop for unique Louisiana themed merchandise to show off your Louisiana pride, visit the main site at soslouisiana.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting local. And as always, let's keep Louisiana businesses in Louisiana hands. Have a good night, y'all.